Welcome to Mad Props. I am your host, Chris Schnabel, and today we have Gray DeLisle, voice actress, musician, actress, all this great stuff. You definitely know her voice. She's done many iconic characters, including Daphne and Scooby-Doo, Mandy in The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy, Azula from Avatar, The Last Airbender. Hopefully I said that right. And Vicky from The Fairly Odd Parents. She has music coming out soon and now. Multiple albums coming out. We're going to talk a little bit about that. We're going to talk about her being a parent along with being an actress and musician and travel and just a whole bunch of other stuff in between. You're not going to want to miss any of it coming up next. Before we get started, make sure you follow us on social media at MadPropsPod on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter /X, and Facebook. You can follow me at Chris Schnabel. This weekend, this weekend, we will be at Comicpalooza doing a panel, The Art of the Interview, from Mad Props, which is me and this podcast you're listening to. It'll be on May 24th at 4:15 p.m. At the George R. Brown Convention Center, Comicpalooza. You can go on comicpalooza.com to get tickets today. If you go for the full weekend, you can meet Charlie Cox, you can meet Kristen Ritter, Lawrence Fishburne. There's a lot of really cool people. That Lou Ferrigno is going to be there as well. So a lot of cool people that'll be there that you're not going to want to miss. But then on top of that, you stay for the full thing. We're one of the last panels of the entire convention, and you can catch us at the podcast stage. And you can come say hi, come say how you found out about this, and a whole bunch more. It's going to be really fun. So you can catch me May 24th, 4:15 p.m. George R. Brown Convention Center, Comicpalooza. Do not miss it. I just promoted us on X, and before we get started, I just want to really quickly say an opinion basically on. I don't really use X, Twitter. I'm going to call it Twitter from this point on. I don't really use Twitter. Ever since it was turned into X and all these different paywalls and stuff were brought up. I used to use it a lot more. It's how I met some people that have been on this podcast or that I'm kind of acquaintances or friends with nowadays, just through communities and stuff like that were built on the platform Twitter. So today of recording, it might have been yesterday or 2 days ago from when you were listening, depending on when you're listening. It was announced that Twitter is going to limit free users to a certain amount of tweets per day. So it's tweets, quote tweets, retweets, comment, all that stuff. You get I think it's 50 a day, and then that's it. And to unlock that, you have to become a blue check mark member. So I have two opinions on this. One, that's not what social media is supposed to be about. The reason Twitter was great is because you can kind of release what's on your mind into the world. And sometimes it became big and sometimes it didn't. But the people that followed you can then comment on the things you commented on, creating conversation. That's what Twitter was supposed to be when it started. But what it's become now is this clickbait, rage bait. And the one I hate the most is the one where the no context post that you just don't have any idea what the hell somebody's talking about. And you have to click on it to see what they're talking about. There's still no explanation of what they're talking about. But the reason they do it is because when you click on it, now it gets more traction, gets pushed out to more people. It's just become such a messy, awful, conglomerate of things that were so far from what made it great in the first place. So there's that part of it where it just kind of lost all of its not charm, but what made it something people enjoyed and what people liked. But then on the other side of it, putting up the paywalls in the first place was frustrating in a way of what are we doing? Kind of why are we putting up paywalls for social media? Because you need to make as much money as possible. That's why there's ads and paywalls and all this other stuff. But taking something that has been free to use for legitimately 20-something years, that was a lot of people's favorite platform to interact with, their favorite platform to use, limit it behind a paywall, and now limit it even further where you can't even really use if you are somebody that uses the app, 50 is not enough. For me, 50's plenty. I don't really use the app in the first place. But for a lot of people that is the app they use, 50 is not going to be enough. They like to comment back on people. They like to quote tweet. They like to, there's a lot of different things you do on that app, and it'll add up quickly. I don't understand where they're trying to bring this, if they're trying to take it down, if what they're trying to do to Twitter. But making it pay to go is just going to draw people away from the app overall. Now, I know this was what was said when they were like, oh, buy a check mark, it's going to draw people away from it. And it did for a minute. But then it was like, well, I could just still be a free user and it's fine. And then you get the people with the blue check mark with the 42 followers, and it becomes a mess that way. The blue check mark's a whole other thing, by the way. I don't want to go into too much of a rant because I want to get to Gray and go into her interview. The reason there was a blue check mark is because people would make fake accounts of other people, and you wouldn't know who's real and who's not. So people that were notable and needed that distinction got the blue check mark. That's literally what it was made for. It was made for people of note, not just celebrities, not just musicians, like people of note. Your local weatherman, a writer, like politicians, like they have these distinctions because they need to know you are of note. Now the blue check mark is just for anybody that decides they want to put money into something useless. And it's kind of ruined the entire sphere of having that check mark in the first place. Businesses, people of note, that's it. That's all that should have it. No one else should have it. But now, Instagram does the same thing, right? Where you could buy the check mark. My account, my personal account, and the Schnabel Studios account have both had blue check marks before. The Schnabel Studios had it because it was a business. And then my personal, even though it did not have a lot of followers, was able to, I think it's gone now. I don't have it anymore. But I had it for a little bit, not because I was paying for it, because I believe it was because of this podcast, but it was a person of note thing. But it was while I was a freelancer. Once I stopped freelancing, it kind of just disappeared. I don't know what happened to it. I did apply for it back then, but it's gone now. So I don't know. I think paying for the blue check mark doesn't really make sense unless you are trying to build yourself, which would make sense in that way. But like for Twitter, it's just so your replies go higher up, and so people will see them, and maybe you can go off that. Anyway, putting a paywall behind the actual use of it, that's been something that's been done for over 20-something years. It's just dumb, and I wanted to say that before we start. That's where I wanted to go. I could have talked that whole time about Comicpalooza because I'm doing it this week, but I already know everybody listening is going to be there anyway, so I appreciate everybody. All right. Sorry to take up so much of everybody's time on that. I had to get something off my chest with it. What do you guys think of that? Put it in the comments if you want to get into the conversation, if you want to get into what you think about Twitter doing all this, or X, if that's really what you want to call it. Anyway, let's get to Gray DeLisle. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you so much for listening. This is Mad Props. Roll the titles. Let's go. Great, thank you so much for joining. Thank you for being here. I know you are all over the place because you have a big tour coming up, and you just voice acting and kids and all that stuff. Just we're all over the place. But thank you for being here. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me. I flew back from, I'm in the middle. I did Ireland and England for my tour. And then my middle son, my other kids are super independent, but my middle son's my sweet little squishy guy. And he just is so attached to me, and he was having a really hard time. So I was like, oh man, 9 hours home and 9 hours back, but I've got a little break between England and the Netherlands, and I'm going to go home. So I came home. So he's very happy. And I told him I'm going to pick you up every day, and we're going to just like snuggle and bake cookies. And I'm going to be like super mom for 8 days. Then I've got to get back on a plane. He's like, okay. So I'm doing the costumes for his play too, which is what I'm doing after I hang up with you. But because I have to miss the play. He never gets a lead role, and he finally got a lead role. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to be gone. I didn't even, this tour's been planned for like a year, so I couldn't get out of it. But I was like, I'm going to be the costume mistress. You're going to see me at your school all the time, so that later on when he's talking to his therapist, he can be like, well, she did do the costumes. She missed my play, but she did the costumes. So,
but she was involved.
Yeah, I'm just trying to score points with the future therapist. So
Future points
Yeah.
you're trying to get as you keep going. But
Yeah.
that's that's crazy. So you're going from Europe back home, back to Europe,
Yeah.
just so you can have some time back. So you must
Yeah.
get some good mileage. You have some good mileage points, I'd
Oh,
imagine.
I mean, I just thought like my mom was never there for me growing up. I was raised by my grandmother, so I don't know. I have a thing about like being, it's such a guilt. It's so guilt, and I have to say, as a woman in music, like I was the dad of my kids is a touring musician, and he never gets asked like, how do you balance not that you said it, you didn't do that, but a lot of times they'll be like, how do you, tell me, like, how do you balance motherhood with your music career or your acting? And I'm like, well, I mean, it's hard. I mean, you miss a lot of stuff, and it's really isn't a balance. You have to sacrifice one for the other. And but he never gets asked that. It drives me crazy because I'm like, dads. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny, but yeah, no. But
He's got to do
I'm
it too.
yeah, I know. Yeah, but I
That
am constantly guilty. That's one thing. I live guilty every minute of the day.
Well, that's how
So,
you can answer it from now on. You
yeah,
could say when they say, "How do you do it?" Like, well, he does it this way. Like, just completely go to him, like how he does
that's
it.
so true. Yeah, yeah, I know. Yeah, and he's great. I'm not even taking any away from him. I love him. He's awesome. But it's kind of funny. I was like, "Do you ever get asked about how you balance fatherhood?" And he's like, "No, never."
No, do
Like, I
you?
mean,
Constantly,
every single
constantly.
time. Yeah,
It's
yeah.
every single question. But you are touring now, and you have an album, the Gray album, that has come out, and you also have another album that come out. So tell us a little bit about this new music that you've been
Yes.
releasing.
Well, the Gray album was last year. It was a double album, and we're playing a lot of that on this tour. And then I, s- I think of myself as a songwriter who just happens to sing because not everybody's cutting my songs. They should be, but right now I'm cutting my songs. So I would love to just be an old lady who writes songs for other people, but right now I'm the only one cutting my songs. But I saw this guy Les Green perform, and he's just so inspiring. He sings like Sam Cooke meets like Little Richard. He's doing cartwheels. He's like just got the audience is just enwrapped. Like here in LA, no one will even go after him. He's just you can't follow him. He's just like a powerhouse. So anyway, and he just sings just his voice. I haven't heard anybody sing that well. And I mean, well, he was on American Idol for a short time. I think he left because he was like, I don't want to do this. But he blew him away. He sang a Sam Cooke song. But anyway, I got inspired to write all these songs for him. So I wrote 9 songs for him, and but he said I want you to do half of them. So I was like, all right. I have another album coming out in September. I write constantly, so I'm always recording. I actually have 6 albums like in the can ready to come out, mixed and everything. So, but I have to like pace myself 2 albums a year. That's what I've limited myself to 2 albums a year. But I told Les, okay, I'll do half the songs. So I sang half of them and he sang half of them. And then the last one I didn't write. It's You're the One That I Want. But it's from Greece, so I love
Yes.
that song. So yeah, so we do that together, but all the other ones we trade off on the vocals. So, but he's just so inspiring to write for. And yeah, so it's the first time that like I've written like 4 songs for someone else. A lot of times when I'm writing songs, I'll go, if George Jones was alive today, what would that sound like? Or if Buddy Holly was alive today, I'm going to write a song for him. But I've never like written for another living person that's actually sung the songs. So anyway,
Yeah.
it's great. Yeah.
Like actually being able to make the song and then hear the actual person do it. You're not just being like, what
Yeah.
would it sound like? You can actually hear what it sounds
Yes.
like.
And tailored it to him. He's sort of a gender bender. Like he's very, he's sort of androgynous. So the song "I'm Gonna Let You Call Me Baby," it goes back and forth between genders, and yeah, and that's only him that I wrote that for. So it was kind of fun to write something tailor made for someone else to sing and then hear him sing it. And he can sing anything, so I wasn't constrained by. Because sometimes, for myself, I can't hit every note. So I'm like, oh, we can't go up there. We'll have to stay here because that's how I sing, So, but for him, I could do anything I wanted. So, yeah.
Was music? I know you did music early on in your life. Was that
Yeah.
like the first passion for you? Is that what you really wanted to get into when you first like started doing entertaining?
Well, it's funny because I didn't even think about it as like getting into it. Like I've just been writing songs since I was about 5 years old. I just thought everybody wrote songs all the time. I was always kind of in my own little world. Um, and I remember mentioning it to a friend when I was maybe 6 or 7. And I was like, when you're writing a song and she was like, I don't know what you're talking about. But I just always had songs going in my head. So I didn't even think about it as something that you could really do. It was just something that I did all the time just for my own enjoyment, but but then I went through like a total. Well, I was a weird kid too. I was always doing voices and different like I could mimic people really well, which was sort of embarrassing for my grandmother because she said you would be at a restaurant and someone would have a weird laugh like and I'd go like immediately, do something weird. And she was like, don't do that. People would be all offended, but it was just like, I had to do it. Um, so yeah, so I fell into the cartoons just because I was like, oh, there's this weird thing that I have been doing all my life and there's an actual job and a way to make money doing it. That's amazing. So I did that. And then, the songwriting, I just started recording my songs maybe when I was about 22 or so. I think I made my first album, just financed it with my cartoon money when I was maybe 25 and immediately signed with Sugar Hill Records because Dolly Parton was on it and Rodney Crowell and all these cool people, Guy Clark and all my songwriting heroes. I was like, I'm on the same label as those people. It's amazing. But then I was in the middle of a European tour and I got this weird stage fright, like this anxiety where I all the songs went away. I couldn't go on stage. I couldn't sing. I couldn't do anything. And so for 20 years, I just thought like, well, the portal is closed. The songwriting thing is over and I can't perform. And that was just a weird, I guess that's gone. It's something that I took for granted my whole life. It was like this little bag where I could just reach in every day and write. I mean, I do write songs every day. I wrote one today. And it was just something where it's just like this. I thought it was like this endless supply of fun things to entertain myself. And then all of a sudden it was just completely gone. And then when the world kind of shut down, my brother moved in with me and we used to, sing together and he plays guitar. So he's like, hey, get your auto harp out. Cause that's kind of my instrument of choice. But he's like, get your auto harp out and we'll play some. Oh yeah. You can see my I used to have my auto harp where'd that go? It used to be by my fireplace, but I guess it's gone. Anyway, there's one in my room. There's always one sitting somewhere. Yeah, he said, let's do some song, like singing or writing, and we got nothing to do. And I was like, I have not written a song in 20 years. I haven't picked up my auto harp in 15 years, and I just can't. But then we just started singing covers, and then I dreamt a song. I was sleeping, and I was like, oh my gosh, I think I'm writing a song. So I called myself and sang it to myself. Like I left it on my machine. And then I discovered the voice memo section of my phone, which now I'm constantly like, because this was like, I hadn't had an iPhone when I was writing before, but now I'm like, yay, voice memos on an iPhone. It's the songwriter's friend. Anyway, but so yeah, I sang a song to myself and I sent it to my brother and was like, is this a song already? Or is this and he goes, no, that's great. You're back. So then after that, the portal was open again, and every couple days I would write something. So I've written probably 600 songs since since the pandemic. So that's why I'm putting out all these albums. If you can't tell, I have terrible ADHD, so I never shut up. So you'll have to bring me in.
No, you're the guest. You can talk as much as you want.
Oh my God.
I don't even have to be here. I'll take off and then come back and hit stop. It's all good.
It's terrible, but it's better than someone you can't get anything. I've talked to people where I'm like, and so what?
Yeah, those are definitely the worst when you're like, when I have a guest where I'm trying to drag things out of them, it's tough. When like I can carry a conversation, I don't mind carrying a conversation, but when someone comes on, it's like a one-word answer. You're like, oh, this is we're gonna have to do some heavy lifting today.
Yes, I do these Zooms with fans every Tuesday night. It's Tuesdays with Gray, but and we just do Zooms, and I was, they're paying quite a bit of money just to talk to me for like 5 minutes, 10 minutes. I max out at 20. I'm like, I can't think of any, at 20, I'm like, I hope they're entertaining. Some of them are amazing.
There's only so much you could talk about in 20 minutes with with everything, right? Like,
yes. But some of them, they're just like, and I'm like, do you I actually looked up online like conversation starters or like things to add, because I was just like, sometimes I'm just drowning, and the person that does the moderating is like, whew, you were working hard on that.
Yes.
Anyway, at least I'm not that. So
yeah. I sometimes will. So I don't believe we met briefly in Houston.
I was gonna say you seem so familiar, but I wasn't.
Yes,
I was like,
we met. It was very brief. It was like really, really brief. I came up, I introduced myself. You gave me your music card.
Yeah, because
that was really it.
And you mentioned this, right? And then I was like, yeah, contact this. Yeah, okay, great. I'm not crazy because like, this guy seems
no,
so
you're not crazy. No. We met very briefly.
Yeah.
But I'll go to those conventions.
Yeah.
and see some of the people that I've been with. Like I was there to see Rob Paulson and Phil Lamar that day, but I
Aw.
was just at one to see Carlos Alazraqui, and I was just kind of at his booth. We were just hanging out, which he's
Yeah.
amazing, by the way.
Oh,
He's
so
awesome. Like we
great
were
and
just
so
hanging out like we knew
fun.
each other for 20 years. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Like
Oh, no,
just
he's
met 2 days
wonderful.
before that. But I'm
Aw.
sitting there and seeing the fans come up. It's one of my favorite things about all this is like being
Yeah.
able to meet you guys after, and then like I'm there, I'm seeing these fans come up, and some of them just don't have anything to say. The fact that they're hearing you talk as a character is
Yes.
all they really wanted in the first place. Like they don't even need to say anything. Just hearing you as one of the characters like just gets them. It's
Yes.
something I really
Yeah.
enjoy. I enjoy seeing the reactions and stuff like that. But like you're saying, like someone comes up and they want to hear, Daphne, but they don't have anything to say, and you're like, well, I could talk, but what do you want me to say?
And
Like
I'm
I
like,
need
"Jeepers,
something to
I'm
go off
working so
here.
hard here. It's a creepy mystery. I can't get anything out of this guy." Well, some people don't like to do the voices either. Like some of the voice actors don't do the voice for the people. I'm like, you need to do the voice. Nobody knows
That's the
you.
whole
It's like,
point.
yeah, I'm like, your face is not
That's the whole
recognizable. Get
point.
the voice going. That's what they know. Anyway, yeah. But they're
Yeah.
just like, I don't want to do
Yeah.
it.
I
I'm like, yeah.
I've noticed most people will come up like they don't the selfie maybe, the autograph maybe, but most of them that I see come up take out their phone and want you to say some message. They want
Oh,
you to
yeah.
say something in the voice, and like that's all they're there for. They want you to say like, say hi to my grandpa for me, or
Oh,
my
yeah.
brother, or my friend as this person. I've
They
noticed
come up
that's
with the
something that's like
FaceTime
every single
call,
time.
like a
Yes,
FaceTime, like,
yeah.
like it's like happening. And I'm like, oh, they're like, here, talk to my babysitter or whatever.
Yeah, just
I'm
they
like,
throw it in your face.
yes. Yeah. Oh, which is my least favorite thing to do when I'm hanging out with people. Not as cartoon characters, but people that just they're talking to their friend and they're like, say hi to my roommate. And I'm just like, what? No,
Yeah,
not as a character character, just like when you're hanging out with somebody,
at
just as a
all.
friend. And I'm like, why would I don't want to talk to the person. They don't know me. I don't know them. This is weird. I have friends who do
We're
that a
hanging
lot.
out.
I'm
I
like,
don't want to have to talk to someone on the phone. That's the
yeah,
point of hanging out.
yeah.
I'm right there with you. I can't stand when someone's on their phone actively while you are in conversation. Like it just,
Yeah.
I don't understand. Like if I'm guilty of it, I always go like, I'm sorry, I have to answer this or something. Like
Yeah,
sometimes
and I
work or
step
something. Like I
away
have to
from the
answer this.
table. Yeah. I had a
Yeah.
friend that I was eating lunch with, and he was like, "Wait, who's calling? I wonder who this is." And I answered, I was like, "You don't even know who it is, so you don't even obviously it can't be that important. You don't even know who it is, and you're
It
answering
took
the call."
priority. You don't know who it is.
Yeah, I know. It's like the dopamine hit of like, who is it? Anyway, but yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
I'll
It's the
never
same thing
forget
as
that. I
social
haven't
media
had.
though, right?
Oh, I know, I know. I love to just
It's the
like.
same. It's a dopamine hit.
Yes, I know, I know. I feel bad because my kids we do Waldorf education, so it's like no devices, and I have to do it myself, even though it's hard for me because I'm like, oh God, I can't be on my phone if I'm not letting them have a phone or have an iPad or do anything on the thing. I can't be the one that's like, yeah, go do that wooden puzzle, kids. Mommy's on, YouTube. So anyway, yeah.
Yeah, it's like Modern Family where they all get rid of the computers or phones for a week, and Phil's like, I have to set my fantasy line up or something like that. Like, I need my phone too. Like, I got to get
Oh
back on my
yeah,
phone. So,
I've
yeah,
never seen that show.
I completely understand that.
I've never seen that show, but I kind of know because it's just in the zeitgeist now. But the one
Yeah,
of
it's
the one
everywhere.
half of the gay couple on the show was doing like a cartoon with us, and someone was congratulating him. I guess they'd been got an Emmy or I don't know what, but I was like, oh, what happened?
Yeah.
And I'm sure that he thought that I was just playing stupid. Like he's probably thinking, lady, like we're on the biggest show on television. What are you talking about? But honest, and I think about that, when you say something stupid and then you think about it like once a week, I think about that interaction, which happened like 10 years ago, all the time. I'm like,
Yeah,
that guy
happens
thought
to
I
me
was,
every day. Don't worry.
you have a full day to reflect on all the stupid things that you said because there's so many.
Yeah, full
Yeah.
day. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's just what happens when you don't think about it and you don't really care. You said something stupid. At the end of the day, it's like, it's out there. It's over.
And I just want to be like, I really don't know the show. I do now. Now it's been 10 years later. So I've seen it's just come up or I've seen like clips or whatever, memes. And I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
that guy. Oh, he was on that. I'm sure they'd won some big award and I'd looked like an idiot. What are you talking about? Anyway, so.
Yeah, they won a couple Emmys in their time, but yeah, even
Yeah,
to this day, I mean, it's my girlfriend's it's her comfort show. So like, I've
yeah.
seen it a million times because she's watching
Oh,
it constantly, and it's good. I enjoy it a lot, but it's also
yeah,
all over the internet. Which,
yeah.
going back to the internet, it's all over social
Yes.
media.
I got to see Arrested
So
Development. That's the thing I missed out on too, and I know it's probably amazing because
that's
I love all the
actually
people that are
my
on it.
favorite TV show of all time. Is
Really?
Arrested
Oh my
Development?
gosh.
Yes.
Well, Henry Winkler is I love him. I've done some cartoons with him, and I always think, oh, he's gonna forget about me because he's Henry Winkler. Why would he remember me? But he, no matter what he's doing, if I'm at a con or something and he's nearby, he's like, great. He comes over and gives me a hug, and it was very sweet. Yeah. Last time I
That's
saw him.
amazing.
Yeah, I mean, he's one of the nicest. Him and Mark Hamill are two of the nicest people, just most down to earth people that are like gigantic celebrities. You would never, think they'd be like so sweet, and they are. They don't need to
Yeah.
be. Yeah,
They don't need to be, but
they
that's
don't need to
that's
be.
like the point. Like, they don't need to be, but they are. That means they're going out of their way to do this, which
It's
is
so true.
even
It's
better.
it's
Which is
always
even
the
better.
like lesser celebrities where you're like, I don't even know who you are, but clearly you're
Yeah.
someone because you're acting like a total jerk, and I know you think you're someone, but I don't know,
Well,
and it's
that's
always
the
like
problem.
some.
They're probably not someone.
Yeah, they're
They're
usually
probably
like
they
a
think.
influencer type person where I'm like,
Yeah.
you're not influencing me. Anyway, but
Yeah. Well, I was just talking with somebody about that, how like you're talking 20 years ago, most of the people that were celebrities or somebody you knew them from TV, you knew them from music. Like, you actually, everyone knew them because obviously medium was much smaller back then, TV, radio, that kind
mm-hmm.
of thing. Now there's so many people that can get a following so quickly and so large. You can
Yep.
know there could be someone that's a 5 million people influencer that you've never heard of in your life,
I know,
and
I
there's
know,
thousands of them out there.
I know, I know. And for something dumb too, like I've seen them gone, this person's not talented. I don't know how they cracked the algorithm somehow and got like all these followers, but there's nothing good about this, what they're
Persistence.
doing.
It's
Yeah,
persistence. It's posting
yeah,
2-3 times a day. It's getting
yeah,
on the trends. It's, if you really want to get into the algorithm, like, it's not, I'm not saying it's easy. As someone
yeah.
that's worked in social media for a while for different
Hmm.
brands and stuff, it's not
Yeah,
easy to get into the algorithm, but once you kind of crack the code of how you're getting your views, you
yeah,
could start to formulate yourself around it. If you look at a lot of influencers when they first started posting, they would
yeah.
post something like this and then something completely different. And then this is a trend. And then this is a workout video. And then this is something else.
Ah,
And then the workout video sticks. So they try workout twice this week. And now they're just kind of
ah,
now they're just a workout influencer because that was what was working for them. For not for
oh,
everybody. Some people go in knowing what they want to do, but like the big
yeah,
time people, I notice it a lot with people that have like podcasts that are influencers now. Like,
yeah.
if you look at them 5 years ago, they had a podcast. They also did social media. They also streamed video games, and they did
Hmm.
this and they did this. And they picked, once something finally worked out, they kind of leaned more in that direction and kind of dropped the rest of the stuff. I feel like you see that a lot,
Ah,
especially from those late 2010s, early 2020s people that got big now.
yeah. I well, I did have one kid interview me who was this, and he was a really good interviewer. But he had been at it. I had probably 10 years. I don't know. I just said yes, I would do it because I just said yes. I didn't even have any idea that he was so big, and it was so funny because the videos that he did. I mean, it's got like the main one has like 17 million views or something like that, and
Ooh.
it's only been out like a few months. I think it came out like 3 months ago or something, but. I was like, wow, I just had no idea. And I remember as I was driving over there, I was like, oh no, it's in Santa Monica. I don't want to go to Santa Monica. But I was like, well, I told the kid I'd do it, and he's sweet. And he seems like he was like 22 or something. He's got this baby face. But then after it came out, I was like, holy crap, this guy's got like millions and millions of followers. And yeah, I wasn't used to getting recognized, but now like my kids and I go places, and because of that reel, I'm pretty sure people are like, oh my God, are you, and I'm like, this is so weird. I'm not really someone who hardly, I get recognized maybe once a month, if that, but now it's been
Yeah.
like every time we go someplace, people are like, are you so anyway, so it's kind of funny. My kids are like, are
Well,
you famous? And I'm like, no, not really. And anyway, so
I am now,
I
kids.
know, I know. Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
we can hope for it, but I have a feeling we will not be getting to 17 million,
Oh,
unfortunately. That guy has a
I didn't
leg
even
up
know
on
those.
me.
I don't, yeah, anyway, it was a total fluke, but yeah, but I loved it. I was like, and then I was like, oh man, I wish I was a collaborator. I mean, I wish that not a collaborator, but I wish this was like my content I mean,
Yeah,
I was
well,
like,
even a collaborator, right? Because then people are going to come back to your
yeah,
page at the end of
oh
the
my
day.
God, I got
Yeah.
so many followers. I at least got like 20,000 more followers after that thing came out. So that was kind of fun.
Wow.
Yeah, I got my
Yeah.
pay and followers. Yeah,
Yes, yes. You got your
yeah,
paying followers. So now you
yeah.
could be an influencer. Now you could
Yes,
be the one getting
I'm
all that stuff.
I'm a micro
It's
influencer.
it is interesting, like in your line, like you almost have to post on social media like an influencer when you're going to something like a convention or something like that, because just to promote yourself. Like it's no longer promoting through other means. Like you kind of have to be an influencer to promote yourself.
Yes, I never even had social media stuff. Like I didn't have anything, and this was probably like 12 years ago, or no, more than that, probably 15 years ago. Tara Strong was like, "You should get on Twitter and you should get on those things." And I was like, "No way. Why?" And she was like, "Because they have these conventions and they'll invite you, and also they'll cast you more on shows because now when they're like deciding between like two actors, if two people are really good, they'll go to whoever has more followers." And I'm like, really? Oh my
Hmm.
God. All right. And I did sign up and now I'm like in it. Like, I mean, I post all the time. I'm just always, whatever thought comes into my head, which is, I'm like, oh no, I could get myself in trouble because every thought that comes in my head goes online. So I'm glad that I'm an adult
Yeah.
now and it's not like a teenage thing, because I probably would have like canceled myself a long time ago. I'm
Yeah,
a good
yeah.
person, and I don't think I have terrible thoughts or anything. But we all say stupid things sometimes. I don't know. Who
One
knows who
stupid thing
knows?
can do it all. I've interviewed there was an athlete I interviewed that was big in the early 90s, and he
Yeah.
said like if we would have had social media back then, we all would have gotten kicked out of school. Like they were
Yeah.
big college basketball players, and they're like we would have been kicked out of school if we had social media back then because of all the stuff that was happening around us. So
Yeah.
it's exactly what you're saying. Like one thing can kind of blow it all up, and
Yeah.
social media is great at doing that. You see it a
Yeah.
lot where people are building themselves up, and then one tweet from 10 years ago comes out, and that's it. They're
I
gone.
know. Also, when I just find out what people's thoughts are, I'm like, oh, I don't like you anymore. Like, I have like unfriended a lot of people, and they're like, oh, like, is it, like, and I'm like, it's not personal. It's just, but then I'm like, well, it is personal. I found out what your thoughts are,
It
and I
is
don't like you
personal, but
anymore.
yeah,
I
yeah,
know. Yeah. So,
yeah.
yeah, I liked it better
That's
when I
always
just didn't
unfortunate
know.
too.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought you could
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
spell, and I
It's so
thought you were kind of
unfortunate when you
smart.
see it.
Yes, I know. It's like, no, not you. Even Sherilyn Fenn, who I like, not to gossip about different celebrities, but I was just such a fan of her. Well, first of all, I thought she was so beautiful when I was in high school, and I thought she was a great actress, and I loved Twin Peaks, and I even loved her on the Gilmore Girls. And then she's like saying all these weird conspiracy theories and like all this like chemtrails and like weird like G5 and all those like weird conspiracies. She's all in it, like she's in it, and so it's all over her social
Yeah.
media. And I was like, oh no, I loved her, but bye. I just mute.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
this is too much. This is too
yeah,
much.
it's like I wish I just
This is
thought
too
you were
much for
this
me to
beautiful
handle.
woman from before. You've ruined it. You can have it. My baby's
So
asking. Yeah.
tell us a little bit about your tours coming up and the music that you have coming up soon.
Yes. Oh, June 5th, Gray and Green comes out. I named it Gray and Green because he's less green and I'm Gray DeLisle. And I thought, hey, we both have colors in our names. We can be gray and green like a bruise. Anyway, so that comes out June 5th. And I'm going back to do a show in London on May 22nd. And then I'm in the Netherlands from May 24th to June 3rd. So lots of shows all over the Netherlands. Netherlands has been very, very
Co-
good to us. We love the
coming
Netherlands.
back
Yes.
coming back right before the album comes out.
Right before
Like
the
2
album
days
comes out.
before is when you'll be
Yes, we
back.
have been selling it though
Yeah.
on the road. People are like, "Oh wow, I'm getting a sneak peek." So I'm like,
Yeah.
It's only available on our merch table right now." So yeah, and it's getting some good airplay. And there's a thing called Women of Americana, and I've made the playlist a few times, but this time I was like the number. It's hard to be the first song on a playlist, and I'm like, I'm the first song. That's the one
Mhm.
everybody hears. So my friend who helps me out with my socials and stuff, he's been sending me. He's like, you got Shazammed 87 times this month, and I'm like, huge compliment. That's like a huge compliment because it takes a lot. I've probably Shazammed something like 20 times in my whole life, and it's always when I'm like, I gotta know what is that,
Yeah, same.
So anyway, I was like, I was someone's gotta know. Anyway, yeah. So there's that, and then in September, I made an album. I actually made 2 full albums with a wonderful producer named Andy Paley, who was legendary. He worked with Patti Smith and the Ramones and the Beach, well, Brian Wilson and Jerry Lee Lewis and like all these wonderful entertainers. And but he passed away from cancer. We finished our 2 albums and then he passed away. So the first of the 2 albums, the part 1 of the 2 albums that we did together, is going to be out in September. So and it's called Don't Turn Around, and I'm like, so many amazing people are on the album. Bob Glob, who played with, like Paul McCartney and, Linda Ronstadt, and just, he's a legend bass player. And Mickey Raphael, who's Willie Nelson's harmonica player, and like all these wonderful artists are on the album. So, and I do a duet with Dave Alvin from the Blasters. So yeah, that's going to be, I've never been so proud of an album as the one that's coming out in September. So stay tuned. Lots of stuff's coming out. Then I made a record with John Carter, who's Johnny and June's son, Johnny Cash and June Carter's son. He produced an album with me in just outside of Nashville at the Cash Cabin that Johnny Cash built. So that's a bunch of different folk songs, totally different kind of record. Like the one with Andy Paley, sort of like Beach Boysy sounding with some kind of like 60s Nashville kind of Loretta Lynn kind of stuff. And then the one with John Carter's like folk songs, like funny folk, a lot of funny folk songs, if you could say. And then this Les Green thing is like 70s soul with like backup singers and horns. And so I write all different genres because I always kind of do a little call out to if a songwriter's passed away, I'm like, hey, any songwriters that are floating around out there, if you have a song that you want to write, I'm here. So send me the song. I always feel like there's like little song fairies just going around, like granting you a song if you're open to it. And so I never know what kind of song I'm going to write. A lot of it leans toward roots stuff because I was just sort of raised on country and the Carter family and Hank Williams and all that stuff. But I mean, soul songs have been coming out, blues, just jazz. So you never know which kind of song the song fairy is going to bless you with. So yeah,
that's amazing though, because like all those different genres, it keeps it different every time. It keeps it like, you're getting something new no matter what. Like obviously you're getting new songs and new albums, but you're getting something new every single time because of that.
Some people hate it though. They're like, Gray, you should stick to country. Why are you putting out these, and I'm like, I got no control over it. I'm just a vessel for whatever, is coming through. So sorry. Yeah.
Those are the people that want consistency. They don't like change.
They do not. I am usually that person, but when it comes to my music, I'm like, just have to deal with it. Sorry. But usually I'm like, I don't like to learn new things. I keep buying the same kind of car because I'm kind of stuck with Ford because I've had too many Fords. And now like, I don't want to learn a new system. Like I don't want to learn a new like stick shift or, like the radio. I've kind of perfected it. So I'm like, I don't want any change. So yeah. Oh, this has been fun, Chris. Thank you so much. I've been yapping.
Yes,
but,
thank you.
No,
thank you so much. I appreciate you joining and talking about your music.
Oh,
that's fine.
Thank you
so much for being here. I appreciate you joining. Thank you, Gray, for being here. Thank you all for listening. Again, I will be at Comicpalooza this weekend, May 24th at 4:15 p.m. I'll be doing a panel with this podcast in the George R. Brown Convention Center in the podcast stage. Do not miss it. Go to comicpalooza.com and get your tickets, or go into the description of this right here. It'll be in a bit.ly link. Click that. It'll take you right to the ticketing window, and you can get one to come see us at the thing. Come say hi. Come say where you've heard of us. If you've never heard of us, then you don't hear this anyway, so it doesn't matter. But we'd love to meet you out there. Follow us on social media at MadPropsPod on Instagram, Facebook, X/Twitter, which we just talked about, and TikTok. Instagram and TikTok are probably the best place to follow us. If you don't already subscribe to us on YouTube. You can just hit that down below. If you are on YouTube right now, give us a like, give us a comment on there as well. If you are listening anywhere else, Spotify, Apple Music, or Apple Podcasts, or anywhere else, hit that follow button, give us 5 stars, and throw us a comment in there as well so we can see it and reply to you and say hello. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Thank you for listening. Next week, we will either have a guest or the live show, debating on which one we want to have go first, but hopefully there will be something for you guys to listen to. Not hopefully, there will be something for you guys to listen to. Hopefully I'll understand what I want to do by that point, but we do have a guest as joining me possibly from the floor on Saturday. I was hoping to announce that on this podcast, but the details are still being worked out. So follow Mad Props Pod on Instagram, TikTok, all those places. Definitely Instagram if you want to stay updated on if we're going to do a show from the floor itself. Still undetermined. But on top of that, beside the point, there will be one on Monday. Just not sure if it's going to be the guest or something else from the show itself that will go out on Monday. But they'll go back-to-back weeks. Anyway, thank you guys so much. Appreciate you being here. We'll see you next week. This is Mad Props. Deuces. See you later. Subscribe if you hadn't. Go buy your tickets to Comicpalooza. Bye.